Hi guys, welcome back. So, we're gonna continue with React stuff. So while we're doing this to prepare for the interviews, and meanwhile we're gonna apply for interviews, obviously. Um, so this morning we've been working on to-do list and normal fetching, and we're gonna continue with fetching with Axios as well. We're not gonna do to-do list now. I think that is too much to ask, but yeah, the next thing what we probably gonna do is filtering. So yeah, let's do that, right? Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see me make 607 years, and yeah, let's get into it. I'm actually gonna uh, go to a React playground, and I think this one worked totally fine. Okay, what is this? Format code. But there's a style.css, which I do not see. Oh well. Um, okay. So let's clean this up for a bit. And let's remove this one as well. Remove these ones. Okay. Format. Awesome. Now, search and filter. That is what we're going to do. But first what we're going to do is gonna see how does filtering actually work. How does it work? Do we understand it? Let's see. The filter method of array instances creates a shallow copy of a portion of given array. Okay, so only a part will be copied. But what will happen with the other ones? Filter down just the elements from a given array that pass the implemented steps by the provided function. Try it. Okay, so it returns this, but what happens with the words? So let's see. Console.log words run. Okay, so that stays the same. You're not mutating. That is good to know. Okay. We'll have a callback function and an argument. So you can have two stuff going on. Okay. A function to execute each element of the array. It should be a truthy value to keep the element from the resulting array and a falsy value otherwise. The function is called with the following arguments. The element, so that this is an element, right? The index and the array. A value is used as this. Okay, we're not doing that. A term value is a shallow copy. Okay. The filter method is an iterative method. It calls, okay, so iterate means it's a loop. It calls a copy function once for each element in an array and constructs a new array of all the values which callback function returns a truthy value. Array elements which does not call the callback function are not included in the new array. Okay. Callback function is only is invoked only for array indexes which have assigned values. It's not invoked for empty slots in parse arrays. Okay, so when we have um so when we say less than 6 and we're gonna add this one, it's probably not gonna give me the empty one. Well, it does. So what do you mean then? Okay. In sparse array, I don't know what the sparse array is. Can contain an empty slot. Oh, okay, it's just a comma. Okay, so an empty. This is what I said is not empty. That's basically what I said. Okay, so we're gonna say console.log and we're gonna say words. Okay, and I'm just gonna put a comma. So this part, the null, should not be included. Okay, let's do here. One empty slot. But that is not true then. Um, Also, what's going on here? Okay, okay, no, it's true. It's true. Because here it says it's not returning the empty array. That's good to know. Okay, filtering all small values. Okay, function is big enough value, return value bigger than 10. Const filtered, filter is big enough. Okay, so you can do a callback function on the array itself. Okay, good. The following returns all prime numbers in an array. Okay, it's prime number. For number I, if number the index is equal to 0. Okay, so everything that is, yeah, I don't know how primes work. That is something I need to study, but not for here. Filtering invalid um, entries from JSON. Okay, const array. Okay, so this could be invalid. So um, this one we don't know. Let invalid entries be 0. Okay. I don't know why. Okay. If item, if number is finite, this is another function I don't know what it is. Is finite. Is finite. What does it do? Is a static method but returns a past value as a finite number. Oh, okay. So it is everything that is above 0. If number of finite item ID and n item ID cannot be 0, return true. Entries plus plus, else return false. Okay, so basically what it does, it checks for if an ID is 0, is not 0 and is a number, basically. Returns true, and it's an if. So it only, that's really weird. So it adds only by 1. Not sure why. Okay, const array is array.filter, filter by ID. Okay. Console log filtered array and array by ID. Okay, which is okay. So only the wait. I don't understand, to be honest. Okay, if ID is 15 minus 1, 3, and 12.2. Why is this is a completely valid. Oh, okay. So it has to be okay. Because so 0 is also true. I don't understand. Um, Number of infinite entries. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so these are valid entries. Oh, it can also be negative then? Okay, but can you just do number then? Or what is it saying? That is pretty interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a complete static. Okay. Okay, so this checks it, and then you say filter by ID. Um, so then it only filters out what is not a number. So these are not a number plus plus the 0 then, because you said also not 0, but 0 usually is true then. Yeah, okay. Um, so then do I have any more questions then? Yes, I want to see what no gives me. No. Okay, no, it's also false. Okay, searching an array. Okay, for example, uses filter to based on the search criteria. Okay, let's assume you have this and you have an array in query. You return the array with an element. The element to lowercase includes query. Okay, so why okay, I don't understand why there's a second value here. Um, it's comparing one value to the other. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT for this. So, um, why do you use query argument to compare? Use the current because you want to search for a piece of stack that the item is array. Array is the full list. Query is looking for check each elements. Oh, okay. So you're matching something against something else. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sure. Yes. Show me what happens if you don't use query. No query. Includes requires one argument, of course. Empty string. Yeah, then you have nothing compare. Okay, fair enough. Using the third argument of callback function. Okay, so let's assume these ones. So why are we reading all this? I was going to tell you. You need to understand the functions that you're using. That's why. Apple, banana, grapes, mango, orange. Filter items based on search criteria query. Okay, we did that one. An array argument is useful if you want to access another element in the array, especially if you don't have an existing variable to reference to a date. The following first uses a map to access the number ID and then uses filter, the ones that are greater than its neighbors. Well, why would you use map first and then filter? Because you're gonna call everything. So I'm gonna ask that. Um, why map first then filter? Because you doesn't that cost more? Isn't it better to filter first? Well, before mapping, you don't have the numbers yet. Oh, okay. Ah, yeah. Okay. Okay. It's cleaner. Next. Okay, so we have an array with some stuff, and we say grade IDs is name, and names reference to the array. Okay, so you're gonna use this for something else. Okay. Oh, it's gonna map. Okay, sorry. Okay, so names of map name parse int. Okay, so something has to be a number, and it has to match between 0 and 10, exactly 1 0 or 10. And then you filter the ID, IDX, and array. Without the array argument, there's no way to easily access the intermediate array without saving it to a variable. Okay. If IDX is larger than 0 and ID is less or equal than the array minus 1, which means um, the last argument. So if it's not the last argument, return false. So why would you do that? If IDX is larger than 0 and ID of array is okay, it's the last one. If IDX is smaller, oh, wait a minute. You're not comparing to the last item here. If IDX is smaller than the length one, it's the last item, and ID ID is smaller than array plus one. Okay, so I need to have some explanation on that. Okay, let's do that. Explain these two lines. Okay. If you are not at the first element and the current ID is less or equal, If the current ID is less than or equal to the previous element, then reject this ID. Simple words, if your number isn't bigger than the one before it, you don't pass. Okay, why would you do that? What is the goal? So this one has nothing to compare with, and this one has something to compare it, and you see that this number is smaller, so this one passes. And let me see. Here it doesn't pass, so this one gets filtered out. But this one does pass. Okay. If IDX, if you're not at the last element and the current ID is less or equal than the next element, then reject this ID. Yeah, it's basically the opposite. If your number isn't bigger than the one after it, also you don't pass. If your number isn't bigger, you also don't pass. Okay, great. Next, for an ID to survive the filter, it must be greater than the previous ID, and it must be greater than the next ID if there's one. Basically, you're picking local peaks, numbers that are bigger than both neighbors. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Hey, how are you doing? We are reading the filter, array prototype filter, which is a function in JavaScript, like an method in JavaScript that exists, and I'm trying to see how it works before we are going to continue with our exercises. So, um, yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, return true. So basically what it's saying, if this one is bigger than both neighbors, push it. And here, this one is pushed because there is no last neighbor and it's bigger than this neighbor. But this neighbor doesn't work that way. Okay, great. Um, yeah, it will skip empty slots. We already knew that because there's a parse array. No worries. We're not gonna read this one. This is something you should never do. Okay, I think we got the gist. I just want to see what this does. I think it filters out the words. Explain this line. Just making sure that we understood everything before we're gonna do our exercise. What? Okay, so you are filtering out the um um filtering out the letters. I'm not sure what parse int is. Oh, okay. Okay, only if it matches this one. Now I want to know parse int for a little bit. Just make sure. I never use parse int, so what is it? Parse int parses a string argument and returns an integer of a specific uh, thing. Let me see. Oh, okay. You can even do it in base 10. Okay, you specifically want the integer. Okay, great. Now we can start our exercise. Let's go to our other ChatGPT. Give me a second. Um, Let me see. React interview questions. Give me a second. I need to scroll a bit. Oh, no, this not. This is not the one. Range interview chances. This is 1 second. Okay, dark mode toggle. To-do list. Search and filter. Okay. Um. All right, we're back. So this is what we need to do. Okay. We're gonna. Okay. So basically, what we need to do is whenever we do this or we do apple, right? It should only give us back apple. That is what we're doing. And this is the filtered list. And we need to do it in a React way. So we need to think about it. I think we need a function. But let's thinking, oh, is this already answer? No, it's not. Oh, this is filtered up map. Okay. Yeah. Um, Let me see what we should do. I think what we should do is create a function search filter, and this function, what it's gonna do is gonna take two things to compare, which is element. You need to have an element, right, to compare with, and you need to have a query. Okay? Hey, unknown, how are you doing? So now we're gonna say search dot filter, and we need an element. We need an element, and we're gonna filter that against an element. Let me think. Yeah, we're using an element, but then we don't need to use it here. Let me think about it. No, it's okay. Okay, and that includes a query. I think that's it. Because if the element doesn't include the query, then it shouldn't be, right? So let me see what we can do here. Oh, we have an issue here. Let me see. Let me check. So it's filter element query. We have a syntax issue. What is the syntax issue? You can see it's evening. You know, I don't make these mistakes in the morning. Uh, Expected. Huh? What? What's going on? What's going on? What? What is it? Oh, it's a constructor. Okay. Well, I was already thinking, what is this? Function expression. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing wrong. This one. Okay. That's the first thing that we did. So we now are filtering. But first we need to kind of have a list, right? Or let me think. As soon as we are typing, on change set search to e-target value. And the value is search. And starts empty. That wouldn't make any sense. Because, oh, wait. Ah, I see what's happening here. I think because we're not even using this. How dumb am I? Okay, data? No, not here. Ah, I'm lost because of that one. Uh, filter logic here. What? Let me see the question. What is the question? Okay, the question is, do you need to filter the array? Okay. But then this one does not make any sense because then we need to do const filtered equals data dot filter. Okay. Data dot filter element includes query. Yeah. Okay. We do have an issue. Let me see what the issue is. I think oh yeah, we're using query here. It's not needed anymore. So, okay. Const filter data dot filter element and compares the element includes search. Yeah, search. Okay, yeah. And if I type, okay, gotcha. Oh, that was uh that was pretty scary. Okay. Okay, that was pretty hard because the reason why I think it was hard is because everything is already set up. Not sure if this is possible, but Okay. Yeah, I can create a function around it, but sure. Okay, and that works then. Let me see. Target value element includes search, and then it should work. Okay. Okay, I don't think I did too well though. I should have done better. So I'm gonna do this again later on because I was doing stuff. I don't know. Let me see. It's already 28, so 28 is for 2025, and I think the mistake was um the vars. We're not paying to the vars, so let's actually do that today. Um, but that's gonna be in the morning. So Control D. All right. Awesome. Um, okay. Let's do filtering with Axios for this time. That's what we're gonna do. So now we have done this one, and we're gonna do a later exercise more difficult. So yeah. So if you don't know what fetching is, fetching basically is a special type of method in JavaScript where you can retrieve data. I think that is set appropriately. So, uh, so this app. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, there's nothing wrong, right? Okay, all right. Looks hard. It's not hard once you understand what's going on. It's like just like if I'm gonna touch Python, I'm gonna say the same. Like it's hard, right? Are you working or are you studying right now? Okay. So basically what we're gonna do some fetching. But for fetching in React, we need a special type of hook. That's what it's called. Use effect. Okay. So we're gonna introduce that. We're gonna say use effect, and we're gonna return that with a dependency. Okay. And we're gonna fetch some data. So I'm gonna do JSON dummy data or something. JSON placeholder. Okay. All right. This is going to be the link. Okay. So we're gonna say const response. I think is async because we're doing an asynchronous fetching. So fetch and then this one. Okay. So that's the first thing. Expected a function. Well, we get to it later. If the response is not okay, response not okay, we're gonna return just a parameter. Response was bad. Check fetch. Okay. Now we have one error bounding. I'm gonna only do one. But if the response is okay, we're gonna say const data is going to be response dot JSON. And then we're gonna say, because we are using React, we have to use a use state hook to store the data somewhere, which is const data set data. and I don't know what the use state is gonna be. So I'm gonna put an empty array for now. Okay? And I'm gonna set data to data so we can use that. Now because we are using response, we have to use await. Um, Let me see if I missed something. Not really. Yes. Okay. So let's. Uh, it wanted me to fire a function. That's what it said. I think this is then how you do it. Oh, okay. Const respond. Expected this, but found that. Okay, so that's not how you do it. Why am I struggling with the syntax? Um, Await can only use inside. Ah, okay, okay. I see what's going on. So something like this then? Oh, the hell is this? Why am I struggling with let me rewrite that because I'm not seeing it. Okay. Const response. Okay. Is async. Anonymous function fired. And then you say fetch. Fetch this. But then you're basically saying like, hey, put that one parenthesis here if you are complaining about that. I can't use a filter built in one, even in Python. But filters aren't too difficult to make though. It's not a like a real it's not a big issue. I'm struggling with this one. Function async function response. Okay, is equal to fetch. I feel so dumb. I'm gonna look it up because I'm not doing well here. Okay, whatever. What we need to do, we're gonna continue. We're gonna figure that out later. Also, we need to call the function. So, uh, ah, I see what's going on. Okay, function fetch. So annoying. Wait, const fetch data is async and then fire the function. I actually don't need to do this even. I can evoke that like this immediately. Okay, let me see. Okay, what's going on? Can I not use expected const? Jesus Christ, bro. I'm struggling here. Await can only be used. Okay, finally. Okay, that was complete horror. It needs some lambda or something. I don't know. Yeah, no. What I needed to do, I need to wrap this inside a function. This is something that is not an issue in JavaScript, but in React you actually have to hook a use effect, then invoke the function again. It's very annoying. Let's actually put something on the screen. So we're gonna say data dot map, and we're gonna say item. I'm not gonna say ID for now, and we're gonna use a lambda. I forgot the parenthesis here. Sorry about that, because we're using React. Um, oh yeah, like that. And we're gonna say we're gonna render it as a list, but we first have to check what kind of because we're doing the to-dos. Let's see what they have. They have user ID, title, and completed. So let's do only the title for now. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we first have to um, put a special attribute, which is key in React, so we know which ID it is. And then we're gonna render out the list, and the list is going to be the item dot title. Done, I think. Um, Let me think if we missed something. Yeah, we have an array because it's an array, right? Yeah, an array of objects, so that's totally fine. Does this make sense? Response not a okay, that's fetch, async await data. Okay. Return data app. Okay. So the what we're doing wrong here, we are using we can use it. We should wrap it around on this one, and the reason why is because I'm using curly braces. I think that is should do it. Item, and actually let's destructure this. So let's go to item. No, let's do title, so we don't have to use item. That should be possible. Okay. Now let's see. You have to place the URL outside. Not really, because then we don't know how to track the ID, to be honest. So that wouldn't make sense. We need to track which ID we have. Okay, let's check what we have now. We have a use effect. We have data and set data. Data here, data there. Okay, we are using the fresh. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. But then I'm gonna be sneaky then. You know? Let's try it. Then I'm gonna say this P. Then I'm not gonna use that. So you see, that doesn't work. Hi bro, I'm new to your channel. Hey bro, Coconut Boy, how are you doing? We are doing a small React challenge. Otherwise you create multiple lists. Mm, do- don't spoil in the chat, FM. Like I know you mean right, but you know I need to learn this properly. So I appreciate it though. Uh, I don't need to do this. We can actually make this better by just using this. Okay. Let me see if it actually renders anything. Let's see. Like if it doesn't render anything, then I have an error somewhere. Okay, it does render. Um, is this wrong maybe? It's an array, right? Like an array of objects. Yeah. Use status defined. Yeah, I'm from the Netherlands, bro. How are you, bro? Let's see. It's good. Okay, let's check the things again. Remapping. We just do structures, and then we're pulling in a function. We can set a try catch, but I'm not gonna do that now. I need to be able to figure it out. So uh, I see it. I think this uh error. Oh, that doesn't work? Why not? Hmm. No, there's definitely something wrong here. This should be right. Where are you from, Coconut Boy? Oh, let me think. I think I think he was right. I think that's the only explanation. Um, I think FM is right. I should put this outside of the of all the shenanigans. But I have an error. What is will be the error then? It's because I have the key needs to be here. Okay, we have that done. Let's format a bit. Hey James, how was your King say? Yeah, it was relaxing, Like I live in the pipe, so yeah, it was okay. So, I was just hanging out with friends for a bit, but I haven't been doing too much because I was pretty tired as well. Um, we're struggling a bit, guys. Let me struggle, okay? It's the only way I learn. Okay. Okay. Now we know. Let me see. Is it actually named title? Yeah. Okay. Uh, I should have an await here, to be honest. That's the only explanation for me. Because I'm using async, right? Const response. Mm, let me think. Uh, no, that won't solve it. Uh, I have it info. God damn it. Okay, let's relax a little. Um, India. Where from India? India is a large country. Also, we have another subscriber here. Sub happens also for India. How was your King's Day, Gonzalo? Let me think about it. Uh, have I written it down correctly? That is the question. Because I was struggling here. Like I'm not really struggling here, I think. Now here, there's no real mistake, to be honest. If we return, we have a fragment. Okay, I give it 3 more minutes before I gonna see what I'm doing wrong. Okay, this is correct. Okay, absolutely correct. We have a use effect. We're gonna say a new asynchronous function where we do a response of post, and then we say if response is not okay, we return an error. Let's assume we don't have that error. Okay, we're gonna say the data is going to be the response, right? That makes sense in JSON. And then we set the data to the response. Yeah, that's totally correct. Then we invoke the function, also correct. All right, next. Then, yeah, you have an outsider div, okay? And if we map over that function, we destructured the title, which makes totally sense because there's a title here. Then we say the key is ID, but then I should also destructure the ID then. Maybe that is an issue. Okay, so let's go back then to the item, and let's say item.id and item.title. Okay, problem solved. Um, yeah, yep, yep. Okay, so this was correct. Let's see if my error was correct. Also correct. Oh, that was you have to be very careful, right? Okay, so I want to destructure title. So let's do that. Destructure title. But if I do so, I also have to destructure the ID. And then it will work. Then, aha, I see. So I forgot to destructure the ID. Okay, good. So that was a okay-ish, right? So I'm gonna neutral. Like I solved it, but the mistake was destruct. Okay, destructuring. So I am going to repeat this, and the date is going to be, well, I don't think I need to do it anytime soon, so um, let's do that 25. Now we're gonna make it a little bit harder. So what we're gonna do, let's see if we can install packages here. So that is uh yeah, delete. Let's see if that's possible. Download your zip project, export, export, showable link, debug. Okay, so it's not possible um, to do that, to install packages. So this means that we have to go over to VS Code for now. I'm 185 centimeters. How about you? What was this? Oh, that was the AppWrite tutorial. Yeah, open recent. Let's go to fetch normal. Okay. And async. I'm using TypeScript. Yeah, we're using TypeScript. Okay, I am not gonna do any TypeScript here. Just letting you guys know in advance. Okay, so let's run that. npm run dev. Any errors? Not, not really. Okay. So what we're gonna do is localhost, and then we have an async fetch filter style CSS. Does it exist? Okay. Okay, awesome. We have something on the screen. Now we want to remove the hello world, for example. Okay. And we got this on the screen. That's great. I thought people from the Netherlands are super tall. I'm average. I'm 185 centimeters. This is average here. Like, there are a lot of people are taller than me. And girls are like, I don't know, like 187 centimeters. So, yeah, it's pretty hard. Hard stuff. Alright, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna install a package. And it's called npm I axios. Now, why are you gonna install axios? Well, axios is a npm package, and it is done for fetching. It says high for high risk. So let's go to axios npm, and let's read. Okay, we did this. Awesome. Okay, import axios. Okay, we're gonna do import axios from axios. So this is a fetch package. Okay, axios declared but never read. That's totally fine. And we are here now. How would you fetch such a thing? Let's see. Axios get, then handle success, catch, finally. Do I need to use then catch finally? That is the question. No, I do not. Okay, so let's try that. Let's try that. So this is what we currently have, this list, and we're gonna apply axios on it. So the only thing that I'm gonna change is axios. And we're gonna say get. And we're not gonna do the errors checking like this. Okay, that doesn't work. Const respond is await axios.get. Okay. Okay. And we don't get a JSON back because that automatically does that, so we don't need to do this. So how would we do that in React then? Let's just think about it. Okay, I'm gonna do it like that, and then what's the problem? Access response any is not assigned with a parameter of this type. Set station x never. Okay. But then we should say response, and that creates an issue. Okay, so we have a React issue. Is it worth getting transferred to UFA in third year of my computer science engineering degree? I'm currently a freshman in my college is super shitty. What? I need more context for this. So I think we need to scroll a bit and let's see if we see React. Okay, we don't see React here. Okay, I'm not quite sure how I will get the this into the set data, and I need to put it in a set data though, I think. Yeah, I do need to do that. Hmm. Yeah, this is something I need to look up. Uh, Let me think about it. I think I just should put the method on it, like data. Okay, that works. Do I still get things on the screen? Yes. Okay, so that's it. Okay, I think that's a bit redundant though. It automatically parses JSON, so I don't have to worry about like saying const data is response.json, so we don't have to do that anymore. That's good. But we do need to put it into a function. Let's go back up somewhere. Um, this is send a post request, get request. Okay, you have more control. That is that's pretty good. But most often we're not gonna use that. So my question is, do we need to? No, never mind. Okay, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of methods, a lot of stuff. Do I need to know them? No, that's the question. So it's good to make this practice, but we're not gonna do that now. Multiple concurrence. Okay. You put it inside an array, and then you're gonna say result stop 0. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you have a lot of control with Axios, which you don't have with the fetch method. Okay, but now it's very simple. The only thing that we need to remember that if we're gonna use Axios, we have to say axios.get, and we have to set a dot parameter of this one, and it gets rendered on the screen. So that's what we know now. Um, Tier 2 in Gurugram. I don't know what that means, Coconut Boy. Anyways, the next thing that we need to do, we're gonna use React Query. So npm React Query. So if you don't know what React Query is, I'm not sure which. There are two packages. That's not good. 10 stack query. Oh, okay. It's like an official page. Okay. Find the docs, add 10 stack query. Okay, we're gonna install it. And we're gonna put everything to normal. So we're gonna remove this. We're gonna say fetch. and then we need to bring back um, if the response is not okay, return error fetching. Okay, we're gonna say const data is equal to response dot JSON. Okay, and then we can say set data to this one. Do we have any error here? Yes, this is error. Why would you have an error? Hmm. Because we don't know what this data is. That's why. I am planning and travel as scholars to foreign to further my studies. Is University of Amsterdam a good one? So I have not studied there. Um, But I do want to say there is a lot of chaos lately at the University of Amsterdam, specifically political matters. So if you don't necessarily care about that, then you're good to go because it has nothing to do with India. It has to do with Gaza and those kinds of stuff. Um, but then again, your because you're doing computer science and engineering, which is going to be in the science park department, you're good to go. Just go. It's a good school. But I just want to mention Coconut Boy. You need housing, and housing is very hard in Amsterdam. So make sure to get that right before you come here. Strongly advised. Okay. What's wrong here? Hmm. Does it give an error though? Yes, it does. That's not good. Great. We have it on the screen. Now we're gonna see what React query is all about. We will just want to have a simple fetch. We don't want to get it to like the router starts. Like there are a lot of things here. So let's go to the documentation. There's a queries notes the React query is often described the missing data fetching library for web applications, but in more technical terms, it makes fetching, caching, synchronizing, and updating server state in your web application in server state. Most components do not come with an opinion way of fetching or updating data in a holistic way. Because of this, developers end up building either meta frameworks to encapsulate strict opinions about data fetching or to invent their own ways of fetching data. This means cobbling together component-based and side effects, or using more general purpose state management libraries to store and provide asynchronous data throughout their apps. While most traditional state management libraries are great for working with client state, they are not so great for working with async or server state. This is because server state is totally different. For starters, server state is persistent remotely in a location you will not control, requires asynchronous API for fetching and updating, implies shared ownership, and can be shared by other people without your knowledge, can potentially become out of date in your application if you're not careful. That's true. Once you question the nature of server state in your application, even more challenges will arise. For example, caching. Okay, yeah. If you're not overwhelmed by the list, then it must mean you probably solved all your server problems already and deserve an award. However, if you're like the vast majority, you have a problem. Okay. On the technical side, will help Remove many complicated lines from misunderstood code from your application and replace them with a handful of lines with a tensor query logic. Make your application more maintainable, have a direct impact, potentially help you bandwidth and increase memory performance. Enough talk. Okay. So basically what you need to do is a lot. What the fuck is this? Okay, let's start with this. Okay. Okay. And okay, we did the query client and then we need to do a provider in the app. Why? Can I not just use it directly? Just here? Let me see. Above the stop. Can I not use it here? Okay, I can. Does it array it out? No. Okay, great. So we used client provider, which wraps the whole component. And we said what the query client was, which is a new query client. So it's basically like a new object. Okay. Now we need to use query. How do you use query? Const is pending error data. Okay. So let's do that. Oh, you need to create a function. Okay, and it is without use effect. Okay, so let's remove use effect entirely. Okay. So we're gonna say okay. And this data is not the same data, right? No, because there are no use states here. Okay, so we remove that one. Great. And you have a query key called repo data. I don't know what that is. Repo data. What is repo data? We don't know what repo data is. It's not provided anywhere here. So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT only um, only answer this question. Where does repo data come from? It's a custom key you define yourself inside repo data. It doesn't come from anywhere, you pick it. Your query use it, identify and catch the result of your fetch. In short, you made it up. You made it up. What the hell is this? Okay. Uh, okay. So you made it up. Well, if I made it up, then I could say query key fake data. Then I can say this, right? Oh, okay. It's an object notation. Okay. Comma. Then the query function. You have a query function. And the query function. What the hell was that? Don't do that ever again. I'm currently not in any colleges. I got selected two colleges. Only still one from bachelor's and BTEC's, and of course not core. So yeah, I'm gonna go for tier one. Okay. query function with a lambda, and then you use the fetch and the then rest method. Okay. Okay, so let's do that. Oh, it is inside a function. Ah, okay, but if that is true, if it's inside a function, where are you using the function then? So let me see. Const fetch data. Okay, and I'm gonna use all this stuff above. Okay. Oh, it's not a function, that's why. Sorry about that. Function. Um, I really wanted to see the today's match with Liverpool, but unfortunately, I was away, so maybe next time. I think it was very exciting because a Dutch coach won for the first time ever. Gonna, just gonna copy it over because I'm annoyed. Okay. It says repo data. I'm just gonna say fake data. Okay. And I'm gonna use this one. Query. Okay. The El Clasico, also no time. Who won, by the way? Sorry, yeah, I've been so busy with coding and so busy with working my current job that I did not have time to do all this stuff. I wish. Okay. We can just return? There's no way I can just return, right? Can I just return? There's no way. So, I could... Nah. Okay. So, I don't think I even need to do this. So where does the data response come from? Um, is this data? Oh, you just use data? Okay, so I'm gonna do it. Data.id, and we're gonna say p, and then we're gonna say data.title, and that should fetch it. There's an unexpected token. Not really. Why is an unexpected token? There's no unexpected. It gives me a headache. Okay, that solves the issue, but there's no data. And we're not using the fetch function. which, so I'm curious where it does that. So let's read. Ah, I see. Oh, okay. So you make a whole function around this? Okay. If that is the case, uh, very verbose. Let me think. Okay. So basically this one should be, yeah, okay. This is a bit unexpected. Okay. Async fetch, and then you want to return, this. Okay. And inside of this, you want to first do the function, right? You want to first do this. That's basically what it's saying. Okay, do you have to use a function? Damn it. So I'm not a fan of this. So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, use the logic of example component directly in app. Let me see if that's possible. Okay, apparently that's possible. Okay, how did they do that? And that is called async fetch. But this is what I did. So that's very weird that it didn't do that. Let's get us the JSON replaces to do. And let's go here. And instead of this one, we're gonna just say data title. And we're gonna say key is data.id. And then we don't have a data.description. And this should work. And it doesn't. Hmm. Let's think about it for a second. Div key, data ID, data the title, with the client or query client, is pending loading, error message. Okay, so let's see the console for a second. console. No querying client set. Use query client provider to set one at async.fetch. What do you mean? It's not set? It is set. Oh. Oh, that's very annoying. Ah. Okay, so you cannot do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. What I'm gonna do? So we have a copy here, like a dummy, and we're gonna say do this with React query. Let's see how it looks. Ah, I see. Okay. So this one needs to be wrapped in the app.tsx. Okay, so we do that after the router, I assume. Okay. So let's go here. Let's come back. Router. And then what we need to do is here and create client is defined though. And also this one then. Then I only have to use query here. Okay. Uh, no, I want to go to the app. App. Why is it not doing that anymore? I'm not sure why. Okay. Um, so we wanted to use this one. Okay. Does that fix the issue? Not really, because it's not fetching. Are we forgetting something? Let me see. Uh, we already did this. We did this, and it's wrapped around. Maybe it should be on the outer side of the router. I'm not sure if that will fix the issue though. No. Okay. What is going on? There's no errors here. Okay. Hmm. Let me take some chips for a second. Let me think about it. I just want to say that I'm very annoyed about this React create shit. Okay. Ah. Okay. I got an idea. So that run it? Nope. This is why you should practice, guys. Right? You could say, oh, I know how it works, right? I read it. Now I'm doing it. I'm getting errors. Do I have any errors though? Let me see. Nope. But let's do the client provider a little bit lower though. Let's see if we get an error. No, we don't. Nope. That's okay though. So it should be on the screen, but it's not. Let's read. What if I copy this entirely over, so then I know it's my fault or not? Okay. Okay. It was my fault. Hmm. So apparently this is the best way to fetch. Now, I disagree, but it comes with a lot of tools, and that is what makes it interesting. But I would never do this. And also, it says async here, and we didn't do that. I think that was the mistake. Let's see. Um, go here. Yeah, I think that was the mistake. Actually, see? No, it's not. But close though. So let's do the div checker online, and let's do copy. All right, and then let's do the fetching example. Then we can see what mistake we made. Okay. Um, find difference. There are a lot of differences, but so this is a tool, right? Like if you're doing wrong and you're comparing, you should check, right? What did you do wrong? So first thing I notice, it says is pending, but it gives me an is pending here. So it gave me the wrong information, maybe. We have to check the docs. Okay. Also gave me the wrong information here. That it could just do this. Apparently not. Oh, I don't want to merge changes. Um, so the asynchronous was the first problem. Then it actually does this. And that is totally correct. But apparently you don't need to do this. according to the documentation, right? Which is very annoying. We should have taken the Tensor Query course. They're selling you this shit also. I think it's very shit. But I need to know this because the jobs are requiring it. So that's why. Okay. And also, I cannot do this like this. So I want to see the API that they provided. The this one, because I don't know how their shit looks, but oh, okay. It's not an array. It's just an object. Um, that is the mistake. So the again, the mistake is it is not an object. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is that we don't need to query through it. So that's why I could just say this. But you cannot say that if it is like this. This is an array of objects. So that was our mistake. But that is because we listened to the React client provider. So let's check the differences. Why should we ever do this? Let's just check. So I'm gonna ask, what is the benefit of this compared to use effect, fetch, and axios? Okay. This is wrong because you're still creating them, right? But I get what they mean. They say it's built in, right? You don't need to use extra logic. Okay. Refetch pulling, background sync retries. Okay, there's a lot of this is true. Yeah, nested async calls, so you get callback hell. It come React Query Constant React Query DevTools. I don't have this. Where are these DevTools you're talking about? Is it like a Chrome extension or something? Right? Huh? Okay. So apparently they have their own. Well, this is just all. This is just headache. I don't. Where's the visuals then? Let me let me go to YouTube. Or let me see what this is all about. React query dev tools. Okay. So this is no audio for a second.
Another great thing, the DevTools panel opens. Panel is empty to begin with. Play. Superhero time. We don't really have one observer, though we do have from React query slash DevTools. And then just before closing provider tag, include the component React query DevTools.
Do you think this looks cool? Because this is super messy. It's using a React Router DOM above React Query tools.
We're going to set prop called initial is open to false, as we don't want the DevTools open by default. Also, as a personal preference, I like the DevTools button positioned bottom right, so I'm going to add another prop position, and this is going to be equal to bottom right.
That's something.
For in fact is lowercase e.
Give me a second. There's no sound, but it doesn't matter. It just
If we now go back to the browser,
we're looking for the money shot. So what I want to see, if it refreshes, that I get this task here.
we should see a floating action button
Okay.
bottom right of our screen. If I click on the button,
Okay.
the DevTools.
So that was ChatGPT talking about. Okay. Sure. ChatGPT wants to give me an example how clean it looks. So how exactly does it look cleaner? I think Axios looks cleaner than React Query, and also when you were using Axios, you don't need to use it in use effect, I think. So I'm gonna ask them, because that's a gotcha, I think. You can. Ha, gotcha. It's a gotcha. So you don't need to use it. It was lying to me. But that doesn't matter. What matters is they say that this is not as clean as this. Hmm. I would beg to differ. The only thing that is hard to understand is that if we're gonna use state, we need to set these response.datas. Now, why do we need to do that? Because React is a declarative language, but these states get removed if we use React query. But that is a bit weird because if you use a 10 stack, okay, so if you use the 10 stack, which is React query, um, do you need to use Redux? I see. Okay, mm. So 10 stack is only for server side? I see. Mm, what if I use an API? Okay. Okay. So you would use the other library if you are going to use UI, forms, application theme, and global settings. Okay, that's clear. Now we learned a lot here, and setting this up, not this one, setting this up can be pretty difficult. I won't remember this just because. This is very hard to remember. So what are we going to do? Well, I think this is the best scenario that we should remember about React Query. I think that this is let me make a good screenshot so we can put it into Anki. Now people say, "Oh, don't remember code. It's bad. But when you get to the interview and you don't know, right, where to put query fn or when to fetch, or they're gonna say, "Bro, what are you doing?" Right? So that's why. Remembering code, people that say that is useless, it is useless if you are not understand the code. If you did not practice like I did. So this is fetch query. Let's also save the Axios one. Give me a second. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Like this. We're gonna say fetch Axios. Now, why do we remember this? The reason why I want to remember this is interview coming up. We're gonna probably use it a lot, and we know the disadvantages. Don't use React query if you're gonna use certain states. Then we wanna use Redux. But yeah, we did that. We did the search filter as well. Although we did the filter tab here, so that's good. We did this we did in the morning. This and that. Okay, that was pretty good. So now we have 15 minutes left. So any 15 minutes, let's see what we can do. Let's first save. Let's close everything. Great. We could do app write. We can make some React. We can continue SaltKit. We can do a lot of things. Mm, what would be the best for us to do right now? Oh, by the way, yeah, I remember. Let's go to Figma. So because I have one interview coming up and I will probably get tested with the UI that I just made, we're gonna practice making UIs. And one of the most important UIs that we can make is e-commerce. So we're gonna go and we're gonna say e-commerce. Yeah. Um, and let's make it more simple. Funny. Are they the same? Are they the same? No, they're not. They look very much the same though. Let's do this one. Do they have the whole template or no? That's a bit annoying that they don't have that. Maybe this one has. It doesn't. Okay. I'm looking for a shot that I can use that like that. So I can practice, right? And not too weird. Okay. Okay. Maybe this one has the whole. Oh, th nowadays they're not posting anything anymore. They're afraid that the AI is stealing. I totally understand. Okay, but these are very hip kind of UIs. So let's go to the freebies. Oh, this is very important to remember, guys. Let's go to UI 8. So if you ever need like a free template, write it down. UI8.net category freebies. Then you can get free designs. They're all free. So make sure that you save this. If you ever need a web page and you're gonna do some backend development, then you are sure that you can do that. So very handy, handy dandy. All right. We're looking for an e-commerce. This is e-commerce, but it's a bit meh, a reasonable one. And it should not be Framer. So there are a lot of Framer websites. If you don't know what Framer is, it is like basically a website builder. So I don't see necessarily e-commerce here. I do have one in Figma, so give me 1 second. Um, e-commerce. Let me see if I can find it. Let's start with this one. 1 second, guys. I think I found it. Yeah, I found it. So this is a website kit, and they have everything. I found it like a very long time ago. Let's see. I think this is a very reasonable homepage though, and there are multiple homepages I see. Let's do the final. Let's see what they have. Awesome. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a new design file. Uh, Let me see if I can find it. To all projects, not projects, drafts, create new design. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do practice design, and this is going to be the e-commerce. Okay, I'm gonna paste that one here. We're also gonna paste the mobile one. So what are we practicing? Basically, what we're gonna practice is how to wireframe this. Let me because wireframing basically means you're making a mock-up of it. So one of the things that you can do is create a frame all the way on top of it. Oh, it's created. Yeah. Let's do it the other way. And I named this mobile. Oh, shit. Okay. So great. And we're gonna check. We're gonna set this to 30%, and we're gonna set this frame to call it mobile layover. I don't know how to call it. We're gonna set the width to 1014 and 5178. 5178. Okay. What you're gonna do? Now I have something on the top of this. Okay. And basically, in this layover, what we're gonna do, we're gonna recreate this in such a way that we understand the structure of the website. So that's what we're gonna do. And we're just gonna make blocks. So I'm just gonna say, alright, something like this. And we are gonna say 40, right? 40, and we're gonna call this layer um, action bar. Okay, we're gonna give it a color, HV, HV, HV. Okay, then we're gonna do the same for this one. It's very boring, I know. and you're not gonna put it in here, and we're gonna call this navigation bar, and we're gonna give it the same fill. And actually, let's save that Proficius color. So we're gonna go to here. I think, let me think, plus, and we're gonna call this layover or something, and create a variable. So every time when we do this, we can just go here and press layover. But let's edit the layover. Why? Because, see if I can do it here. Let's edit the layover. Let me see how I can do that. But not like this. Uh, Custom libraries. All libraries created in this file. Why can I not edit this? That's very annoying. Yeah. Yeah, it just goes out of it. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but then we will abandon that one. And we're gonna then save a new one, which is called not a variable libraries. So annoying. Okay. Plus style. And we're gonna name this color layover 2. Okay, great. And we're gonna do the same for this one. Layover 2. So now we know we have this on top. And later we're gonna create this stuff. Next, this is going to be the hero. Right? Hero. Again, fill. We go here, layover. Go on top. And we're gonna call this the hero image and text. So let's put it on top, navigation bar, like that. Great. Um, yeah, I mean, we basically need to create it for everything like that. Now, while I'm doing it for muscle memory again. So I know how to make a stuff going on here. So yeah, I think that is it for today. We have been live for more than 2 hours. We have been practicing. We also have been practicing this morning. I think we're doing well. So yeah, thank you for being here. Coconut, Subham, um, what's the other guy? FM and Gonzalo. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I will be streaming tomorrow, very likely. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see me make a 6 on today in 7 years. And I will see you until the next one.